Welcome to the Business English Podcast, where we help non-native English professionals sharpen their business language skills. I'm your host, Rob, and today we're diving into a crucial aspect of professional communication: how to expertly put aside topics for later discussion. Imagine you're in an important meeting and the conversation starts to veer off course. How do you steer it back without dismissing valuable input? How do you ensure every important topic gets the attention it deserves, but at the right time? That's exactly what we'll be covering today. By the end of this episode, you'll have 6 powerful expressions to handle these situations with finesse. Whether you're in a high-stakes boardroom discussion, a team brainstorming session, or a casual office chat, these expressions will help you keep things on track and show your colleagues that you're a master of professional dialogue. We'll explore the principles behind using these phrases effectively, break down each phrase with examples, and wrap up with some final tips to keep you at the top of your communication game. And here's a little teaser. One of these phrases could be the key to making your next meeting not only more efficient, but also more productive. Curious to find out which one? Stay tuned. Okay, let's get started. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Business English Podcast, helping professionals communicate more effectively, more confidently, and with impact. With your host, Rob, from Energetic English. Let's get down to business. Let's dive into the principles and techniques that will help you master this skill in a professional setting. But first, why is it so important to know how to effectively put topics aside? Think about your last meeting that ran over time or veered off track. Was it because too many topics were being discussed at once? Knowing how to steer conversations back on course is crucial. It shows decisiveness, keeps meetings productive, and ensures that all important points are eventually covered without overwhelming the current discussion. So how do we achieve this balance of courtesy and assertiveness? The key is to be polite but firm. You want to acknowledge the importance of the topic without dismissing it. This way, your colleagues know that their input is valued, but it's just not the right time to delve into that particular issue. Clarity is another critical aspect. When you put a topic aside, make sure that your intent is crystal clear to avoid any misunderstandings. This means clearly stating that the discussion is being postponed and, if possible, giving a specific time or context when it will be revisited. Finally, always have a follow-up plan. Simply putting a topic aside without any indication of when or how it will be addressed can lead to frustration and confusion. Instead, assure your colleagues that the topic will be revisited and ideally provide a rough timeline of the next steps. Now, are you ready to learn the exact phrases that will help you implement these principles effortlessly? We're about to dive into those phrases and explore how you can use them in various professional scenarios. But first, imagine a scenario where you're able to redirect a wandering meeting with just one phrase. What would that do for your productivity and leadership perception? Stay with me to find out the powerful phrases that can help make this a reality. Okay, so we're going to dive into the heart of today's episode: 6 powerful phrases to help you expertly put aside topics for later discussion. Let's get started. Phrase 1. Let's table this for now. Repeat after me. Let's table this for now. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone brings up a new idea, but you're running out of time. You could say, "This is a great point, but we're short on time. Let's table this for now and revisit it in our next meeting." This way, you acknowledge the idea's importance, but keep the meeting on track. Phrase 2. We can circle back to this. Repeat after me. We can circle back to this. Use this phrase when you need to return to a topic later. Picture this. During a project update meeting, an issue comes up that needs more data. You might say, "We need more information on this. We can circle back to this once we have the necessary details." This keeps the meeting focused while ensuring the issue will be addressed. Phrase 3. Put it on the back burner. Repeat after me. Put it on the back burner. This phrase means deprioritizing a topic for now. Imagine you're in a brainstorming session and a less urgent idea is introduced. You could say, "This is a creative idea, but let's put it on the back burner and focus on our main objectives first." This helps maintain priority on the most important pressing matters. Phrase 4. We'll shelve this discussion. Repeat after me. We'll shelve this discussion. Suppose you're in a strategy meeting and the team starts to drift from the main agenda. You could say, "We're veering off topic. We'll shelve this discussion and come back to it when we have more time." This keeps everyone aligned with the main objectives. Phrase 5. Let's park that idea. Repeat after me. Let's park that idea. This phrase is useful for setting aside an idea for future consideration. Imagine you're in a product development meeting and someone suggests a secondary feature. You might say, "That's an interesting feature, but let's park this idea and concentrate on our core product first." This helps keep the focus on the primary goals. Phrase 6. We'll revisit this later. Repeat after me. We'll revisit this later. This phrase means returning to a topic at a later time. Picture this. During a team briefing, a complex issue is raised. You could say, "We'll revisit this later when we have more information." This ensures that the issue will be addressed in due time. Now, with these phrases in your toolkit, you're well equipped to handle any meeting or discussion that starts to go off track. But wait, there's more. How can you make sure these phrases are not only heard, but also respected and followed by your colleagues? Stay tuned for our final section where I'll share some key tips to reinforce your professional communication skills. Right, now that you've got those 6 powerful phrases down, let's wrap up with some final tips to make sure you're using them effectively and professionally. Key points to remember. Always start by acknowledging the importance of the topic you're setting aside. This shows respect for the person who brought it up and reinforces that their input is valued. Key point 2. Provide clarity. Make your intent clear. Ensure everyone understands that the topic is not being dismissed but postponed. Clarity avoids misunderstandings and keeps everyone on the same page. Phrases like "we'll revisit this later" helps maintain that clarity. Key point 3. Indicate a follow-up plan. Don't leave your colleagues hanging. Indicate when or how the topic will be addressed. This could be as simple as, "We'll come back to this in our next meeting," or "Let's discuss this further when we have more data." Have you ever noticed how smoothly meetings run when there's a clear plan for addressing off-topic discussions? Imagine being the person who brings that level of organization and focus to your team. How much more productive could your meetings be? So, to quickly recap, here are the 6 phrases that you've learned today. Number 1, let's table this for now. 2, we can circle back to this. 3, put it on the back burner. 4, we'll shelve this discussion. 5, let's park this idea. And 6, we'll revisit this later. Internalizing these phrases will allow you to seamlessly put a subject to one side in a professional manner, leaving the road clear to get back to the point at hand. And that wraps up today's episode of the Business English Podcast. I hope you found these phrases useful for keeping your meetings and discussions on track. Remember, the key to professional communication is not just knowing what to say, but knowing how and when to say it. With these 6 phrases, you're now equipped to handle any situation where you need to put a topic aside for later discussion. Thanks for joining me on the Business English Podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe and leave a review. Until next time, keep practicing, stay sharp, and of course, keep it strictly business.
You have been listening to the Business English Podcast. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and we'll see you next time.